Good evening, good evening, and good evening. We're live. We're live, and I'm so excited to be here this evening. Good evening, everyone. How are you? How are you? I'm praying that you are having a wonderful day. You're blessed. Hopefully, you're not in Jamaica right now, and I don't say that to be terrible, but I say that because of the terrible hurricane Melissa that is happening in that area that is causing havoc. And we're going to talk a little bit about that because, of course, as you know, this is cruise news. So that is definitely affecting many cruise travelers. It is big news. So we will talk about it. But I'm going to wait just a little bit, get everyone in here this evening, get myself all situated, which I should be already. But that's a whole different story. Get my hair together, get it out of my face. There we go. All right. Welcome to the show. Welcome. I'm so glad to see you. As I ask every week when you come in, like you would do as you come into anybody's house, say hello. So drop a hello down in the comments. Give me a thumbs up. I see those hearts and those likes. Tap down on those likes. Let me know where you are viewing from. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. We are going to have some fun. We're going to get some information and we're going to get into this cruise news. I have 7 cruise news stories to share with you. And we have a very interesting, fun game that's part game, part cruise pack list that we are also going to get into tonight. So welcome to the show. I am so glad to have you here. Excuse me, hold on. Move the chair. For Tuesday Night Live, we are going to discuss some things tonight. We're talking about cruise news. 7 cruise news stories to share with you tonight. How are you doing this evening? When is your next cruise? Let me know. When is your next cruise? Hold on one second. And where are you going? Which cruise line is it? And where are you headed to? Southern Caribbean, Europe? Where are you going? Let me see. Sometimes I can't see these. There we go. I can see it now. Yeah. Okay. I had to just fix that right quick. Sometimes I'm not able to see my the chat, but I think I got it together. I see someone is going on the MSC on MSC November 7th. That's just like almost a week away. Where are you going? That's probably depending on where it is, it could be even a European one, could be a Mediterranean one, but that is so cool. When is your next cruise? Where are you going? Let me jump into the cruise news. I want to make sure that I'm able to get all of this in because we have a lot to talk about tonight. All right, first cruise news story. We'll start off with this one. This is talking about a cruise ship rescue. And we know, us cruisers out there, and if you don't know, cruise ships are like mandatory that if they have an SOS or if there is a distress signal and the cruise ship is around, that you are supposed to, I'm sorry, I got a beep. You are supposed to render aid. And that is just what this one cruise ship did. So let me read you the story. Cruise ship rescues 63 stranded people. 63, that's a lot, in the Ionian Sea. So let's talk about this one. All right. 63 people have been rescued by a cruise ship after being stranded in the Ionian Sea. And just in case you don't know where the Ionian Sea is, because I definitely had to look that up, that's in Greece. So this is according to Greek authorities. Reports say that Norwegian Cruise Line received an emergency request from the Greek Coast Guard, and this happened on Wednesday, October 22nd. And this was a distress call to help people that they heard were stranded out in the Mediterranean waters. So the Norwegian Epic, which had departed from okay, I'm stuttering. I have a hard time saying this word. Civitavecchia, Italy, yes, was on a scheduled route with stops in Greece, Malta, Italy, and France when it responded to this distress call. So 2 thumbs up and kudos to you, Norwegian Epic. In a statement, Norwegian Cruise Line said that the individuals were safely brought on board, which is usually what they do when they rescue people who are stranded out in the ocean. They were immediately given medical care, they were given food and other essentials by the crew. Let's see. It doesn't say exactly what happened. It says the ship then proceeded to Kalamata, Greece, where the rescued people were handed over to local authorities as directed by the Greek Rescue Coordination Center. So all 63 of them were safe. It doesn't say anything here about harm or any danger or medical emergencies. They were all tended, given food, treated, and then taken um, to Kalamata, Greece. Now, we don't have a confirmation of this, but people who were aboard the Norwegian Epic, social media tweets, and I know it's probably not even called that anymore. I think it's called X, but information that was given out by some of the people who were on board the ship said that the people looked like they were migrants. I don't know what a look of a migrant is. That was just what it says. They didn't give us any more details about the people. Yeah. But kudos to you, Norwegian and Norwegian Epic. Have you ever been on a cruise ship and your ship had to stop to render some type of aid, or you saw that? That would be so dramatic. That would be, oh my gosh, that would be very dramatic. That's never happened to us on all the years of cruising. But I've seen a lot of stories lately where cruise ships are rendering aid and giving rescues. And I mean, thank goodness that that's what they do. But that would definitely be dramatic. Yeah. So kudos to you, Norwegian Cruise Line. Okay, hold on a second here. Making sure I'm catching everything. Once again, give me some likes, give me some thumbs up. This helps my algorithm if you just like the video or the live and give it a thumbs up. It also helps if you drop down a very appropriate comment in the comment area there, and share this with anybody that you think might be interested in cruise news or travel in general. All right, I want to move on. I just got lipstick on. I'm trying a different shade of lipstick. It's a little darker, and I think I like it better than the red. But I don't want it on my finger. Okay, I digress. Let me move to our next cruise news story. And all these stories tonight, they're not necessarily the happiest of stories, but I tried to just make sure that I report what the cruise news is, right? Okay. So we're going to go over to Carnival Cruise Line now. Let's talk about good old Carnival. And it's a story that us cruisers who have been cruising for a while know all too well. The story of raising prices. Raising prices. I was talking to my mom earlier today and we kind of, talked about it. Raising prices is not new news. It happens all the time, every year, every day, prices go up. It's rare to never that a price goes down. It's inflation. It's how we live, right? And it doesn't stop on cruises either. So the story is Carnival quietly raises Wi-Fi prices. Did you know that if you're traveling on a Carnival cruise anytime soon, that your Wi-Fi prices quietly increased? Yeah, they don't usually make that a big headline. So let me share that story with you in case you're heading on a Carnival cruise ship and you're planning on purchasing Wi-Fi, or you put it in your cart. Because even if you have put it in your cart and haven't completely paid yet, that price is going up. Here's the story. Carnival Cruise Line is once again increasing the cost of staying connected at sea. And I am going to tell you the cost, believe me. This seems to be something, it says here in this news article, that they have been doing for the last 3 years straight. Every year, once a year, they raise the cruise prices. 23, 24, now here comes 25, and they have raised the cruise prices. The Wi-Fi prices. This will go into effect any sailing departing on or after December 1st. So you got 1 month, really. 1 month to lock in, it's already gone into effect. But if you go on to Carnival's website now, the price has increased. But this will go into effect for any cruise after December 1st. And it says, this frustrated a lot of cruise passengers who hadn't yet booked a plan for their upcoming cruise. Yes, some travel agents, yes, we were alerted to the price increase on October 24th, but not soon enough to get the word out to cruisers. The price changed quickly and it rolled out on Carnival's website where passengers can purchase Wi-Fi, drinks, and all that. So if you go on the website now, you will see the increase of prices. So let me give you the new price plan. All right, here's a breakdown on or after December 1st. So the social Wi-Fi plan, previous cruise price for that was $18.70 US dollars, of course, per day. That was the previous pricing. The new price is $20.40 per day. So just a little over $2. And it doesn't seem like a whole bunch. Thank God it's not a whole bunch, but you just add it up, stack it up day by day. The value Wi-Fi plan, the previous price for that was $22.10 per day. And now the new plan or new price is $23.80 per day. Yeah. And then, of course, the premium plan, because the plans are tiered. The previous price was $23.80 per day, and now that new price is $25.50 per day. So if you want to plan for your Carnival cruise, make sure to purchase it online prior to embarkation day. And you can, of course, let your travel agent know about that because the onboard price will be even more. If you wait and decide, well, I want to get it once you're on board, it'll cost more. I don't have that plan breakdown here, how much more, but it'll be more than that. Now, let me tell you just a little bit. I do have the breakdown on the differences between the Wi-Fi plans. And a lot of people are like, I don't need Wi-Fi when I get on the ship. I'm going to disconnect, and that's good for you. That means you won't have to pay more, but a lot more do. A lot of people are nomads, traveling nomads. They need their Wi-Fi for work. You might need your Wi-Fi for some kind of school or business. Maybe you are a vlogger or content creator. You need your Wi-Fi. So many people actually do purchase Wi-Fi packages, even though you might be going on vacation. So Carnival knows what they're doing. All right, the difference. Let me tell you, the Wi-Fi, the value plan. This supports access to all sites included in their social plan with a faster connection speed. I'm sorry, let me go to the social plan first. This plan supports access to social media sites like Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Snapchat, TikTok, Pinterest, X, Reddit, LinkedIn, and major airline sites. You can access it with the value plan. It excludes access to most other websites, though. So you're not able to do like email, video, and music streaming services. No Spotify, no Netflix, no Hulu. Cellular networks dependent on Wi-Fi calling and FaceTime services wouldn't work either. Okay, that's the value one. Now, the next one, you get all of the things that I just mentioned, plus it supports a faster connection speed. This plan is designed for passengers who want to stay in touch via social media, manage their emails, browse, and stay updated on news, sports, and weather. That's the next package. And then their premium one offers everything we already discussed, plus it's a little bit faster. The premium plan enables you to stream movies and what else? Video chat. You can monitor your home via your monitoring there. You can browse the web. It does support sites like Netflix, Hulu, Spotify. You can do FaceTime. You can Zoom and Ring where coverage allows. Okay. Let's see. And it also can give you multi-device. So that's the difference in the packaging. So just a note that Wi-Fi has quietly went up aboard Carnival cruise ships. Remember, this will be effective December 1st. So if you are booking that, hopefully you already had paid for it. But if not, there you go. Anybody have an upcoming cruise on Carnival? Yeah. Are you surprised about this? Like, is this the first that you've heard of it on your upcoming cruise that your Wi-Fi has increased? Yeah, let me know down in the comments. So in between, I always like to do something besides just give you the cruise news and talk about like updates. Today, we're going to do a very fun game. At least I think it's fun. I hope you think it's fun. It's called, and let me look at it, make sure. Must have, maybe, and meh. Must have, maybe, and meh. So for any of you who don't know, what is that? I'm going to bring out my bag. We're going to open up the bag and we're going to take a look at it. And I've placed things in that bag that are either going to be a must-have. You have to have this on your cruise. It's going to be a maybe because it's just that, or a meh, and meh means nah, no, I'm not going to have that. I don't ever think about having that. Nah. Next, a must have, a maybe, or a meh. And I am very, very interested to know. I need you to participate. Let me know down in the comments, put it in there, if this would be your must have, your maybe, or your meh. Now, I did not put in the bag things that, of course, we all need. I don't have like your underwear. I don't have a toothbrush, or not the things that, of course, we're all going to take. These are other things. Other things. I've done videos about the perfect packing list and the right things to put in your carry-on, but I'm talking about maybe the things that unique items or things we might not think about. I'm very interested. I'm curious to know what you will think in your must-haves, your maybes, and your mehs. Okay, let me show you. We're going to start off with the bag. Okay, here's my cruise bag, and I'm going to open this bad boy up, and we're going to start with the first item. And the first item really is like a different, like for guys and gals. Do you have a hat or a cap in your bag? Do you carry a hat, a baseball cap, whatever you call it, or some other kind of hat protection? And I do have to put in a plug for my store. All of these items that I think I'm going to show you are in my Amazon shop. They're in my TikTok shop. They're in my spring store. So if you want them, they're there. Go check it out. But do you carry a hat? I'm just going to call it a hat. Is a hat on a cruise for you a must-have, a maybe, or a meh hat? I am going to let you know, for me personally, it's a definite must-have. Yeah. I have learned that they're good for the sun, and they're good for the rain, and they're good for bad hair days. When you just don't want to mess around with the hair, excuse me a second. They're good for that too. Is a hat for you, baseball cap, hat, whatever you want to call it, is it a must-have, a maybe, or a meh? I see that must-have. Must-have, maybe, or meh. I'm going to do another one, and then we're going to go back to the cruise news. Let me dig down in this bag. This, not the case, but what's in the case. A pair of sunglasses, shades, sunglasses, whatever you want to call them. Do you carry on your cruise a pair of shades or sunglasses? Is this a must-have, a maybe, or a meh? Is it for comfort to protect your eyes from the sun, or is it for style because you're cool, or is it's not there at all? Shades or sunglasses? Let me know down in the comments. Is this a must-have, a maybe, or a meh? Once again, for me, I'm going to definitely answer that question. These are must-haves. If I would lose or forget my shades, that would be something that I would purchase. I would definitely have to go ahead and spend money. It would be something that I had forgotten if I didn't have a pair of these with me. My traveling companions don't ever have them. I always carry these. What about you? What do you think? Must have, maybe, or meh? Also, I forgot to mention, in order to comment, you do have to be a subscriber. So make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. I would love to have you as part of our Right Recipe for Travel family on Facebook, on TikTok, on YouTube, Right Recipe for Travel. So make sure, first of all, that you are subscribed to the channel. And I have gotten, notices that sometimes you are subscribed, like for a fact that you've subscribed, and then you go in and you see that you've been unsubscribed. So just check it out, make sure you're subscribed, and then you would be able to go ahead. I think you'd have to be subscribed. I think I have it for at least 10 minutes. So before the live is over, you would be able to answer some of these questions, and we'll keep it going. All right, that's all I'm going to do for the bag for right now. There's plenty more things in there, but I need to make sure that I get through the cruise news stories because I haven't done cruise news this week. So I want to give you all of these updated stories. So must have, maybe, or meh. Hat or baseball cap, whatever you want to call it, and sunglasses or shades. Must have, maybe, meh. All right. Let's go to the next cruise news story. Let me see which one will we pull up here. Oh, what is this one? Give me a second. Okay. Let's talk about, I don't know if I want to leave this for a good story at the end because some of the next stories are kind of heavy. Let me leave that one for the end. Some of these next stories are kind of heavy. All right. You've probably seen this if you look at cruise news or news in general. You might have seen this story that we're going to talk about in a little bit. I saw it on La Lita Loca and I looked it up and wanted to let you know about this story myself. This is kind of an old story, but there's an ending to it that I want to share with you. Earlier this year, a man had been arrested for killing a woman on board a cruise ship. I don't know if you remember that. It's happened, I think it was back in April. So let me read you the story. A man who suffocated a woman with a pillow on a cruise ship has been jailed. Yes, a man actually suffocated a woman with a pillow on a cruise ship. So David Morris, and he's 57 years old, from Wolverhampton, this is in England, assaulted the victim while on a cruise in April of this year. Morris had initially denied the non-fatal offense in police custody, but later pled guilty to intentional suffocation at Stoke-on-Trent Crown Court. So once again, this is in England. Let me see. He was sentenced to 3 years and 10 months in prison at the same court on this past Wednesday. So a week from tomorrow. Yeah, he was finally sentenced for that attack on that woman, for suffocating this woman. It says the police there said, "We worked tirelessly to gather evidence of Morris's offenses, and I am glad he eventually admitted the offense in court." So he denied it at first, but as the case went on and they continued to bring evidence, he admitted that he did do that. It says, "I would like to commend the bravery of the victim in coming forward and helping us with our investigation." So I hope I didn't say he killed her. He didn't kill her. He suffocated her, but she didn't die. Like, they stopped him before she died. So this guy, and it doesn't give us more details. I know back when it happened, I probably gave a lot more details of how he knew her, how he was in the room with her, how this went down. I don't have all that now, but they caught him. And they have sentenced him to 3 years in jail. What do you think? 3 years and 10 months. I looked at that and I thought, that's it? You know, he's not an American citizen and this wasn't tried in America. I understand that. And it was also tried on a cruise ship. And we know that there's different laws, maritime laws, but there's no place that I can think of that would say, you know, harming, hurting, trying to kill somebody is kind of okay. So I just thought, 3 years and 10 months. What do you think? Good enough sentence? I think that's kind of not a lot. I know he did not kill her, but thank God. 3 years and 10 months? Yeah. What do you think? Strong enough sentence? I'm at least glad they convicted the guy. I know we've heard of other instances on board cruise ships and they don't even get charged. So at least they caught him. He is in jail. And that is what's going on with the guy who took a pillowcase and tried to kill a woman on a cruise ship. Be aware, guys. We talked last week and we talk about it all the time. We go on cruises and we let it all hang out, but don't let it all hang out. Keep something in. Don't let it all hang out. Be aware. Don't get so drunk out of your mind or whatever it is, or just so, I don't know what the word is, that you just lose all inhibitions and just don't stay aware. You have to keep yourself safe. You have to remain aware. Don't talk to everybody, tell everybody anything. You know, there are people out there who don't have good intentions on cruise ships, off of cruise ships. Be careful. Now, if that was the person you came with, that's a whole other story that we might have to talk about later. But you know, and people do. Couples, unfortunately, go on cruise ships and things happen and fights happen. And yeah, stay aware. We're there to have a good time. Let's go and have a great time and come back and have great memories. But this is what happened. And I'm so glad that this guy was convicted, even though it's only 3 years and 10 months. It's something, right? Yeah. All right. Let's go back to the bag. Must have, maybe, or met. Yeah, I agree. Somebody said that's not enough time. I wholeheartedly agree. All right. Ready for the next one? Okay. They're all just stuck together. These are magnets. Do you take magnets and use them to have on your cruise door, your walls? The walls in our cruise ship, in the cruise ships, are metal. And so you can hang these bad boys up. And you know that hat I showed you a little while ago? That hat goes there. Some of the other things that I'm going to show you in the bag go there. It just helps with the very limited space that most cruise ships have, unless you're in this massive suite. They don't have a whole bunch of, storage and countertop space. And if you're sharing it with more than one person, it can be a little cramped. So you try to maximize as much space as you can. Do you carry cruise magnets? Give me is that a maybe, or a must have? So for me, it's definitely a maybe. I'm not going to say, I see your heart. I see your heart. So I'm going to take the heart. If you can't, for some reason, put a comment, put some hearts, and that'll let me know that that's a must have. I don't know if you can put a thumbs down. That can let me know that it's a no. Let me see. Okay. I'm just looking at what's popping up on my screen here. Okay, so we do take these on most cruises, but not all. We forgot them, I think, a couple of times. And at one point, we didn't take them at all. We just thought, oh, that would be nice. But, they're heavy and I don't have any. So I'm going to say a maybe. But on the majority of cruises, we will take them. We will. Yeah. My next one. You see what that is? I'm going to open the box. Once again, because of the lack of space, the newer cruise ships, the big, bad, beautiful ones that are coming out lately, the Star of the Seas, the Star Princess, the Jubilee, the World America, the newer ships, they've heard us. They've heard our complaints about there's not enough outlets. There's one or two in a room. That's not enough for the modern day cruiser when we need to charge and plug up so many of our things. Well, a lot of cruise ships just don't have that many outlets, that much space. So you need to bring a non-surge protected, something that is approved by cruise ships. And sometimes even with these, they're like, we'll confiscate them. You need space, having more than one person in the, even one. On my solo cruise, I still even use this. You have multiple, if you have a wearable device, a phone, headphones, if you have all the equipment that I take for vlogging, there, it was not enough. Let me know, is this a meh, a maybe, or must have, that you have something to give you extra outlets in your room? What do you think? Must have, maybe, or meh? I'm going to show you one more before we get back to the cruise news. This is going to make you smile, I think. Yeah, it is what you think it is. It's a plastic Ziploc bag. Do you take these? Now, some people might say, Cynthia, why would you ask me, do I take a plastic Ziploc bag? Well, these can come in clutch. I'm telling you, they can come in handy for many, many, many things. I've seen them for all kind of stuff like makeup. What do you call them? Q-tips, makeup removers. I've seen them to go down to the buffet. I've seen them much bigger than this for the buffet, to take your little food back up to your room, your midnight snack. They don't want to give you room service for free anymore. Here's your room service. I've seen them for stuff for kids, like toys and like keeping something cold in the refrigerator for a baby's teething, having it in here. I've seen these for all kinds of very unique, creative ideas. Do you take a plastic bag, a little plastic Ziploc bag? Is that a must have, a maybe, or a meh? Let me know down in the comments. All right. I am going to, let's see. Let me close this out. Give me a second here. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I'm just trying to figure out how to do this. Okay. All right. I'm going to go to my next cruise news story. Now, like I said, unfortunately, some of these stories tonight are a little heavy, a little heavy, a little sad. But let's talk about it anyway. I do have still a good story coming. We're going to talk about a crew member who has gone overboard. A crew member. Let me share it with you. A crew member on the Viking Star cruise ship in the Mediterranean went overboard on this past Monday, yesterday. The company did confirm. The unnamed worker. So right now, as the time of me giving this live, they have not named the person, was last seen going overboard around 11:30 a.m. local time on Monday, and it did trigger the man overboard ship's emergency response. The ship's emergency response immediately was activated, and then an extensive search operation was launched in coordination with the Italian Coast Guard. And that is a statement coming directly from Viking Cruises. The search and rescue efforts are still ongoing, it says, and that the crew member was on the second deck of the ship when this incident occurred. According to Cruise Mapper, the Viking Star, which was the ship, was making its way from the Greek island of Crete to Palermo, Sicily, in Italy on Monday when this happened. The ship is on a 2-week voyage. It's October 16th through October 30th, and it originated in Istanbul, and it's going to continue on and conclude in Rome. Right now, it says that the ship is reportedly carrying 925 guests and 471 crew members. Viking said, "We are deeply saddened by what has occurred. Our thoughts are with the family of the crew, and we will continue to support them during this difficult time." It doesn't give much more information about what happened, the crew member's name, male or female, what is surrounding this unfortunate incident. So I don't have more details to give, but I did want to share that story. So anyone on Viking, or you know of them, they might be going through this now. The Viking, which one is it? Star, the Viking Star. And that just happened yesterday. So that's very, very unfortunate, and hate to hear that. Yeah. Hold on a second. There is another story that I'm going to share with you. I'm going to pick it up. It's about another crew member, and it's an accident that has happened. But it seems like my computer is freezing up. So give me a second. I'm going to pull that back up again. Give me a second. Write in the comments your must-have maybes or your mez. And I'm going to pull that back up because I do want to share this other story about another crew member. Give me a second. It seems like it's working again. You know, if some kind of weird incident or something, you know, didn't test me, then this would be too easy. Right. Okay. I think it's coming back up so I can share this story with you. Not a good story in the sense of it's not happy, but I did want to let you know what's going on. A crew member of a P&O cruise ship has tragically died following an accident on board. And when this story first came up, all it said was an accident. I had so little information to share. I was trying to curate this and give you, you know, what happened. It was very brief. Crew member aboard P&O cruise has died because of an accident. And I'm like, well, there has to be more. So this is what I've found now to go with the rest of that story. It says maritime authorities confirmed that the accident took place in what they call a lift shaft. And what many people call lift around the world is what Americans would call an elevator. So lift shaft and elevator shaft. While the vessel was 2 days into a transatlantic voyage. Okay. The fatal incident took place on the P&O Arvia on Sunday, October 26th, while the ship was sailing from Southampton, UK. The Arvia was sailing towards its first scheduled port of call in Tenerife when the accident happened. P&O Cruises confirmed the death of, once again, the unnamed crew member. They haven't given the name yet, issuing a statement expressing their deepest condolences. This is the statement that they shared concerning this. We can confirm the death of a crew member following an accident on board Arvia yesterday. Our thoughts and prayers are with their family and friends, both on board and at home, and we are providing every possible support to them. A news agency from the Philippines has stated that the crew member who tragically has lost his life was a Philippine resident or citizen, and that the accident occurred when the crew member was crushed in the cruise elevator. They did not confirm that from P&O Cruise Lines. This is just what a news agency has confirmed. I'm not 100% sure that that is what happened. It says right now that this incident is still under investigation. The cruise line has not released an official statement about exactly what happened. It has been given to what's called the Marine Accident Investigation Branch. I'm sorry if you hear this strange noise. There seems to be some kind of drilling or something going on. Hopefully you don't hear it, but if you do, sorry. The Marine Accident Investigation Branch, MAIB, has formally listed the tragedy as, under investigation. I hate to hear that. That is horrifying and terrible if that is what happened. Our thoughts and our prayers really do go out to him, the family, anyone aboard who might have been involved in that. That would be just terrifying. It says, after the accident, the Arvia made an unscheduled stop in Corunna, Spain, late on Sunday afternoon. The port of A Corunna confirmed the stop was in response to a workplace accident involving a deceased cruise member. The ship remained docked for several hours there in A Corunna, and then it resumed its sailing toward the Canary Islands. So this was on P&O Cruises. That is just, that is terrible. That is terrible. So our hearts go out to them. Have any one of you ever been on a P&O cruise? Those two stories that I told you about, Viking cruise and P&O cruises, they're not the ones that we might hear about or read of often, but there are so many different cruise lines. On one time I looked it up and I was still at number 25 going through. There are so many different cruise lines out there, ocean cruising and river cruising and specialties. And yeah, very sad story. Sorry to hear about that, but I did want to let you know about that story. All right. I'm going back to my bag. I want to know your tumbler, your water bottle, your bottle to put in your water, your drinks, your juices, your ice. Do you take one of these bad boys? I see them, and it could be a different, of course, kind, pull, zip, whatever. Not zip, but, spout, you know what I'm saying? Is this a must-have? Is this a maybe or a meh? You don't even think about taking something big and bulky and heavy. But then one of the other things here could help you with this. I have only recently started taking one. I have noticed that when I go out on these excursions or on these islands, I'm sweating, I'm getting so hot. And so having ice water, something to keep my water cold, is been much more something that I want. So I'm starting to take these now. What about you? Must have, maybe, or meh? I'm going to bend down here and grab something else. And this is, just my type. Do you take a backpack with you? Any kind. This could be a little bigger than maybe the one you would take. Maybe you might have a smaller one. But do you take, I'm seeing the hearts going up, a backpack? Yeah, these are great. You want your hands free. You want your hands free to dance and toss down those drinks. No, I'm just kidding. Or maybe not. You want your hands free, and having a backpack that you can just pack along. This is the easy way to get off the ship, get on the ship, and have all the things you need kind of like at your disposal. And a lot of them have a side area where you can put your tumbler if you so choose to bring that. So, question, is it a must-have, a maybe, or a meh for the tumbler and the backpack? Yeah. I'm going to show you some more stuff. Now, down in here, I actually have this, and this is like your toiletry bag, but I'm not asking you, do you take a toiletry bag? No. I just got this for some of the things that we might consider to be those type of items. So let me open it up and let's get started with some of those. Now, a lot of you will probably say yes, but sunscreen, for sure. Do you know I didn't used to take sunscreen for the first like 10 years of our cruising adventure? I see your hearts. That means it's a must-have. And, you know, whatever SPF you use, do you take some sunscreen? Do you take some anti-itch medicine? I've learned that you can get bug bites and they might itch, or maybe the sheets or something rubs you the wrong way, or I don't know, but we found that itch medication, it comes in clutch. Do you take that? And I'm going to show you one more, and then we'll move on to something else. Do you take dental or toothache medicine, anything for the teeth? There is no dentist on board cruise ships. There's a nurse, there's a doctor, there's no dentist. Do you? And I just threw that. I don't know if you saw it. It flew. I'm not going to reach down and get it. Tooth medicine. Do you take that as well? I'm going to show you one more in here in this section. Antibiotic ointment. You take that? Does that come along with you? Okay. I'm going to stop there. There's many more. Let me know. So that's kind of all of the toiletry items. There's more. Are those must-haves, maybes, or mehs? Must-haves, maybes, or mehs? Meh. All right. Let me see. Yeah. All right, we're going to talk about a good story. I do actually have something that's uplifting and good and happy to share with you. Yay, yay, yay. I don't create the cruise news. I just tell it to you. But here's a good story. It says the Port of Seattle smashes records with 1.9 million cruise arrivals in 2025. Way to go, Port of Seattle. That's spectacular. The Port of Seattle closed out its Alaska season with a record 1.9 million revenue passengers transiting the facility in 2025. And, 2025 is not over yet. Now the Alaska season is, but it's still not over yet. With 298 ship calls reported, cruise tourism generated 1.2 billion with a B in regional economic benefits. The port also reached an environmental milestone with 65% of all home porting ships being able to connect to shore power. Yeah, so the Port of Seattle is brimming with success stories, starting with their record-setting 1.9 million revenue passengers. That's exciting. That's awesome. It says their biggest claim to fame, of course, is they do a lot of Alaska cruises. Many, many people use this port to do their Alaska cruises. $1.2 billion worth of people. Wow. 14 different ships were based at this West Coast port, offering voyages of varying lengths to what, Alaska is called the last frontier. Wow. So, do you cruise out of the Port of Seattle? Have you ever cruised out of that port? We haven't cruised out of Seattle yet. Tell me about it. Is it a nice port? Does it go like a well-oiled machine? I was talking to you guys last week about the Port of Miami being the largest cruise port, and it's expected to continue to be the biggest and busiest one. next year as well. And when it's something like that, it has to be done right, or it can turn into a colossal nightmare. So they really have that port flowing and working like a well-oiled machine. I'm going to guess and assume that the Port of Seattle is the same way. I've never been to it. Let me know. Have you ever been out of the Port of Seattle? Have you done an Alaska cruise? And has it been as great as everyone says Alaska is? Right now, Alaska is not on my list of sailings. I'm not heading there anytime soon that I know of, but there's always opportunities that come up. We have so many others that we're going to go to, but people rave about Alaska. Have you done that? Let me know down in the comments below. All right, I am going to go back to my cruise bag because I got a bunch more stuff in here. And I need to hear from you. Let me know. Let me know. Tap down on those hearts. Do you take, now it might not be this very thing, the Tide Go pins to go pins. These are, but maybe something similar to get out stains that you might get on your clothes. These have definitely worked, especially for my white night outfits and for my formal wear. Tide to go pins. How about a little first aid kit? Some kind, it doesn't of course have to look like this, but some kind of little first aid kit. You just rather have it and take it with you. I see those hearts. Thank you so much. That means must have. You want to take something with you just in case, have it in there. How about, now I have here Mucinex, but it can be whatever cold or cough or flu medicine or remedy that works for you. I found that Mucinex is the clutch. I see your hearts. Thank you very much. It's a must have. This must come with us. This has worked on everything from, let's just say, when it's been really, 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 really rough, to when it's just a slight, I think I feel something coming on. This has worked. I don't work for them, but I'm recommending Mucinex day and night, all day. What medicine do you bring on your cruise? And do you take some mosquito repellent or bug repellent, bug spray? I've learned this the hard way too, that this is now a must-have. This is a must-have. Yeah, I see your hearts. I see. Thank you. Must-haves got to come with us. This is not a meh, and this is not a maybe. This is a must-have. Maybe some of the other things are maybes. I don't know, but not this bad boy, and not that Mucinex either. Let me see. Do I have any other little thing in here? No. So those are the only, like, I guess, toiletry like items, but I have others. Do you know what this is? It's a packing cube. I have several. I just pulled one. And they can be bigger. They can be smaller. Are you a packing cube guy, gal? Do you take a packing cube? These are musts. These are musts. We talked about keeping, I see your hearts. Thank you very much. That means this is a must. Keeping organized. I don't even pull my clothes now out of these. I keep my clothes in my packing cubes. They go right in the drawer, or they go right in the closet. And I open the packing cube, take it out, switch it, another packing cube out for the dirty clothes. Boom, bam, da boom. Packing cubes are a must for me. What about you? Do you take the packing cubes? Yeah. All right. You take a portable fan with you. I think this is going to be on my must-haves from now on. I don't know what's going on with me lately, but the sweating, getting so hot in these areas. It used to be that I was always cold on a cruise ship. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so cold in here. Now it's like, oh my gosh, it's so hot in here. So a portable fan of any kind. This is just one that I can wear on me, but maybe you take a fan with you into the cruise ship. And if you've seen my last video, and I hope that you have, the 21 things that you must know before boarding the Carnival Jubilee, there's a little hack in there about fans. So check that video out. Even if you're maybe not traveling on the Jubilee, check it out and you'll see one of the hacks with the fans. Also, if you are a person who is not hot, maybe you're cold, I have a hack in there for you as well. So check out our latest video, the 21 things that you must know before boarding the Carnival Jubilee. And there's some cruise hacks in there to do with fans and other things that you might need if you are cold. If you are cold. Okay. How about a waterproof phone pouch? Do you take that with you? You take your phone, and you're going to go to the beach, or you're going to be somewhere where you think it might get wet, do you take your waterproof phone pouch? Is that a must-have? Maybe, or meh? For your cruise documents to tack onto your suitcase, this clips right on your suitcase handle, and you can put, I see your hearts, I see it. You put your paperwork in there that you do right before boarding, and this is on your suitcase, luggage tags. And then going kind of along with that, a lanyard. You take a lanyard for your cruise cards. Now, I know all cruise lines don't use lanyards. You have wearable devices and things like that. I see your hearts, but do you take a lanyard? Must have, maybe, or meh? And let me see. Oh, yeah. Now, these next ones are kind of like, they're kind of cute. They're kind of funny. How about this? Do you even know what this is? Believe it or not, it's a rain jacket. It's just a portable, little, really inexpensive rain jacket that I've had for the longest, and I definitely take it. Now, you might not take a rain jacket. You might actually take an umbrella. So either one will work. I just had my umbrella in the car. So do you either take an umbrella or a rain jacket on your cruises? Is that something that you take with you? And it, of course, doesn't have to be this cheap kind. You could have like a nice one. Or maybe you prefer an umbrella. Are those rain jacket or umbrella? Must have, maybe, or meh? What is it? Let me know. I'm getting down to the last couple of things in here. I'm digging deep, y'all. I'm digging deep. How about just the little cruise magnets? Do you take these? They're just cute. On our last cruise, somebody stole them. You're a loser. We don't like you. We don't like you. But do you take cruise magnets just to decorate your door? It could be, I've seen glowing kind that plug in, fancy kind, inexpensive kind, whatever. Do you take cruise magnets to decorate your door? Must have, maybe, they're cute, or meh. Definitely not something that's necessary, just something that's fun. You just want to add to the fun, add to the excitement. It's something cute to do. Do you take your cruise magnet? I only have one more thing in here before I get to our last news story. He's a duck. Are you a cruise ducker? Do you take and hide cruise ducks? These are so cute. It's part of the cruising community. I don't know how it got started. I just know that it's in full effect. You take ducks, all different types, shapes. Go on Amazon, go to our store. You'll see there's as many different ways as you can think of a duck, cruising ducks, and you hide them. And then you find them, and then you either keep them or hide them for the next. Are you a cruise ducker? Do you take cruise ducks? Yeah. I want to know, drop it down in the comments. And if you see this live as a later replay, I still want to know, drop it down in the comments, which one of those are must-haves, maybes, and mehs. And once I compile all that information, I'll create a cute little something to give out to all of my subscribers, the biggest must-haves, the biggest mehs, and the biggest maybes for cruising in 2025 or something like that. I'm working the idea. So let me know your must-haves, your maybes, and your meh. And of course, that's not an all-inclusive list. That's just a few of the things that I thought would be interesting to ask. Let me know down in the comments what should be in my cruise bag. What should be another something that should be on the must-have, maybe, and meh list that maybe it's your go-to and I didn't even mention it, or something that you used to take that you're like, it's definitely not needed anymore, or something that you swear by. Drop it down in the comments so I can grab those as well. Something that you think should have been in the bag. All right. I really only have one more cruise news story, and I bet you can guess what that story is about. It's about this Hurricane Melissa. It is messing up cruise lines, airports, airfare, anything to do with travel over into this area. And unfortunately, it's also causing havoc and causing loss of lives over in Cuba and Jamaica. I even had it on before I started the live. I was watching a live weather show about where the storm was and how it was ramping up, and it was a category 5, and it's terrible. So let me give you, I want to fill you in on what's going on with Hurricane Melissa and what it's doing to cruising. Okay, so category 5 hurricane. That's my grandmother's name, by the way. She would never have wreaked that much havoc. Category 5 hurricane forces cruise ships to change routes. And this is what we know so far. And this was taken late last night, so it's probably been updated and changed a little bit. But let me give you the info. Some of the changes that are taking place because of this northeastern storm and this Caribbean storm, and it's a lot of them. The storm is now considered the strongest hurricane on record to approach Jamaica, bringing heavy rainfall, high winds to much of the Caribbean, especially Jamaica, Haiti, and Cuba. So, of course, if you're in those areas, you already know this. You're seeking shelter. You're making sure that you and your family are safe. Multiple cruise lines have changed their itineraries as the storm's path and intensity became clearer, and the model forecast is showing like where it would go. Like I said, this is a category 5 hurricane. It's talking about winds at miles per hour between 160 and 185 hitting land at those numbers. So this is a terribly powerful storm. It's deadly, and people that are in the path have been warned. Mandatory evacuations for several communities. Like I said, right before the live started, I was sitting here praying and thinking about the live and talking, and I heard that somebody on the live show had asked, are they taking people to a specific hospital? And the response was, the hospital's no longer there. I was like, did I just hear what I think I hear? I know I heard it. He said, I've heard the reports are that hospital has totally been wiped clear. So I'm going to get back to looking at what this storm is bringing, but it's nothing good. Let's see. Let me tell you about the ships that are affected. Royal Caribbean's Icon of the Seas, the October 25th sailing. The Icon of the Seas has rerouted from Eastern Caribbean destinations. It was going to go to St. Martin and St. Thomas, but due to the threat of Melissa, the change to the ports of call include now Cozumel, Mexico, and Roatan, Honduras. The visit at Coco Cay has been rescheduled for an earlier date. Royal Caribbean's Harmony of the Seas, the October 27th sailing. The Harmony of the Seas, which had been scheduled to stop in Jamaica and Labadee, Haiti, has also changed course to a Western Caribbean. So mostly Eastern Caribbean have now changed to Western. New calls will include Costa Maya, Mexico, and Belize, skipping Jamaica completely, of course. The Royal Caribbean Odyssey of the Seas, the October 22nd sailing. Even though the Odyssey of the Seas is on a 14-day sailing out of Italy, the projected path of Hurricane Melissa has impacted that itinerary as well. Instead of visiting the Azores on October 30th, the ship will visit Santa Cruz, Tenerife on the 29th. The port is further south, and that should allow the Odyssey of the Seas to sail across the Atlantic to New Jersey and then arrive on November 5th. Okay, we have Disney's Treasure, the October 25th sailing. This has moved away from a Western Caribbean sailing with new calls to Cozumel, Mexico, and extended time at their private island Castaway Key due to the storm's track into the Eastern Caribbean. Disney Wish, the October 27th sailing. The itinerary saw its Castaway Cay and Nassau stops rescheduled, with both ports now visited on earlier days to avoid the storm completely. The new schedule has Disney Wish leaving Port Canaveral, visiting Castaway Cay on October 28th, and then Nassau on October 29th. Celebrity Cruises, Celebrity Beyond, the October 26th sailing. It has changed its route from St. Kitts, St. Thomas, and the Dominican Republic. Now it will be going to Costa Maya, Belize, and Roatan. The Carnival Liberty, the October 26th sailing. It departed out of New Orleans on October 26th. It was scheduled to go to Montego Bay, Jamaica on the 29th, and then Grand Cayman the following day. These ports have been swapped to visit Mahogany Bay and Belize. We have the Carnival Celebration, the Celebration, October 26th sailing. The first port of call was supposed to be Grand Turk, followed by Amber Cove. Those calls were canceled, and now the ship will go to Cozumel. The Carnival Dream, October 18th sailing. This is also a 14-day cruise from Galveston. And it says instead of going to Ocho Rios, Jamaica, it will take a visit to St. Croix. Margaritaville at Sea Islander, the October 19th sailing. It was supposed to go to Ocho Rios, Jamaica, and Grand Cayman, but the ship was rerouted to Belize and then Roatan. MSC World America, October 18th sailing. It was supposed to go to Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic. Now it will do a Western Caribbean going to Cozumel, Costa Maya, and Roatan. The Norwegian Joy, the October 27th sailing. It was supposed to once again visit Montego Bay, Jamaica. It will now be replaced by an overnight stay in Cozumel. So the bottom line, if you are on a cruise ship now headed into the Eastern Caribbean, or if you're about to get onto one, expect changes, expect delays. This storm is wreaking havoc. It's causing a loss of life. It's a very dangerous storm, and cruise lines will do everything in their power to make sure that nothing happens to you and their very expensive cruise ships. So they're going to change courses. Check, of course, with your travel advisor, or check with the cruise lines itself if you are about to travel to the Eastern Caribbean anytime soon. And then the aftermath. We have a cruise coming up much later, and people were even still talking about, like, will the island be there, or will such and such still be there after these terrible storms? None of us have a crystal ball. We assume they are, but like I said, I heard tales that a whole hospital was wiped away. Now, this is still very much hurricane season. From June all the way through November is hurricane season. We know that. Things like this happen. These are outliers. It doesn't happen all the time. But when there is a storm, cruise ships reroute. They make sure to keep us safe. And that's the good news. It can be very disappointing to not go to a place that you had, been looking forward to going to. But safety is of utmost importance. They're not going to jeopardize that. So I have gotten you up to date on the cruise news, and I have given you some ideas on your must-haves, your maybes, and your mez. I hope that you had fun and you were going along with me and letting me know, even after this is over. When the live is over, you still can go in and put your comments. Let me know about those must-have maybes and mez. I really would like to know. I thank you for joining me. I thank you for the hearts. I thank you for the likes. I thank you for the super chats and the thanks for being my fan. I thank you so much. You have a good night, and I'm going to see you back again next Wednesday. Next Tuesday, which will be November. Oh my gosh. All right. This has been wonderful. Have a good night, and I'll see you next week.